Namaste, my name is Sanat Kumar. Welcome back to the Manana podcast. Manana is a Sanskrit word that means reflection or contemplation. In this podcast, I'll be sharing my deep, insightful reflections for you to contemplate and hence live a life of fulfillment. I hope you find great value in today's episode. Before we discuss whether you should work for your legacy or not, we must define what is legacy, especially in the context we are talking about today. So let's begin with what is legacy. In simple words, it's what you leave for your future generations. That is, what will you say after you die that can be useful to the future generations? Have you thought about it? Have you thought about what, or if at all, you want to leave something, leave anything for the world after you're gone? So, there are two sides to this story. On one side, some people insist that we should think about our legacy, and at the other, people argue that one should not worry about legacy. They ask questions like, why do you care for what happens after you're dead? Isn't it like control freak? You're trying to control something even after you're dead? And they say like it doesn't change anything for you, does it? We must be here now and not worry about the future, etc. A lot of explanations. So here's my take. Legacy may not matter to you, but it matters to society. Legacy is not about how you feel about it. It's not about what you get after you're dead. It's not about you wanting to make people think about you in a certain way. It's not about making people feel and think in a great way after you're gone. It's not about you. Legacy is not self-centered or a selfish act. Legacy is a selfless act. Legacy is about serving. Legacy is about serving and gifting people what you can through your skill, experience, and wisdom. Suppose if I've successfully convinced you why leaving a legacy is important, let me give you a few pointers. Ask what? I want you to ask yourself, what do you want to leave for humanity? We talked about death in one of the first episodes, and then in our episode called A Life Compass. Now we are talking about death again. So if you die now, will the world notice? And if it does it have something valuable to hold on to that you've left behind, apart from the memories? Something that only you could gift. What do you want people to ponder about and work towards after you're gone? Pointer 2. Ask how. Then ask yourself, how are you going to leave a particular impression or make people think about any particular aspect of their life you wish they were gone? So with this question, you'll not only have to ponder about what you'd like to convey to people, but also you'll have to ponder about what skill you are good at. How you can, through your work, convey whatever that you want to convey. We already dealt with what, right? So once you know what you want to convey, you should ask how. How will you convey that message? What skills do you have? Pointer number 3, ask why. Forget about legacy. If you're not clear about anything, start by asking yourself this powerful question: why are you doing what you're doing? I think we asked the same question in one of our episodes called Why Do You Create What You Create? That was more concentrated or niche down to only artists mainly. But here, this question applies to everyone. Why are you doing what you're doing? I think this is a very, very profound question if you can see it actually, because most of the people are running the rat race. I've talked about a lot of those things in my blog actually. Anyway, those episode will coming to today's topic. Legacy is the bridge between the stages of passion and purpose. That's how I feel. Passion is only directed to yourself, and purpose is completely directed outwards. When you say purpose, you're connecting to society. So passion can be something you're doing alone in the forest also. So for example, your passion might be to live in the woods and be alone. That might be your passion. But when you say this is my purpose, it's usually always connected to the humanity as a whole. You want to contribute something. That is when we use the word purpose, right? So thinking about legacy helps you to think about your purpose. Truly and honestly, there isn't any fixed purpose to anyone's life. Even if there is, you should not uh, ponder about it like so. Anyway, purpose is not just an easy topic to just leave it half said here. So maybe I'll be writing deeply about purpose in a different blog and come up with a different episode here also. To continue this further, we must talk about memory and inspiration. Okay, memory and inspiration fades. The ultimate legacy is how we live our life. We know that if we live with great virtues and live a life of fulfillment, that's the best legacy. But the problem with that is, one, nobody's watching or observing you, and two, if someone observes the great life of fulfillment you lived, memories and hence inspiration fades. Fades over time, right? Forget about when you're dead. Suppose, let's say you've shared some beautiful insights with your friend or some secret, probably, which is very useful to your friend at that time. But you know what? When he shares the same story of his transformation, he'll make it his story. He'll not mention your name. So even when you're there, right? When you're here in this world, when you're not dead. So think about when you're gone, right? Nobody remembers you. Even if your life was great, unless you are great as Sri Rama himself, that we think of him still now. And of course, there are other things involved in that. Let's leave that. So, one, nobody's watching you, and two, it will fade, right? Memory is not stronger than time, right? Memory is like it fades over time. So, you need to provide people with something that they can refer back to again and again, repeatedly, so that they won't lose track of those great virtues and they don't have to reinvent great lessons that you had to learn the hard way. So, ponder about this. Through this episode, I want to encourage you to think about your legacy. In other words, the way you will continue to serve humanity even after you're gone. And before I sign off, I'll quote myself. It's an old one. The ultimate intent is liberation, but we don't know when that will happen. So, meanwhile, your intent should be to serve people as much as possible in your own way. Find that way and start serving. I hope you received excellent value in today's episode. To know more, head over to sanatkumarnahibi.com, and if you haven't already, check out my book, The Flower of Fulfillment. Thank you for listening, and I wish you have a great day.